The mid-80s were a strange yet wonderful time for movies. You've got your John Hughes classics, your action-packed thrillers like Die Hard, and of course the emergence of the nerdy, brainy genre, which was like a glorious love child of Revenge of the Nerds and war games. And somewhere in the summer of 1985 was that ever-elusive movie that didn't star Michael J. Fox, called Real Genius. Now I know what you're thinking. The Val Kilmer movie? Hey, Siree Bob, Kilmer stars in this little beauty. And let's be real, he steals the show with his perfect blend of charming irreverence and effortless genius.
Well, I just can't help it. You guys are such fun yourselves.
Before he was Iceman in Top Gun or the brooding caped crusader in Batman Forever, Kilmer was Chris Knight, a character with a name that is almost as superhuman sounding as Bruce Wayne. He's a carefree, sarcastic prodigy who casually wears bunny slippers while outsmarting the entire world. But here's the thing. Real Genius isn't just some light 80s romp. It's a sharp mix of clever writing, superb acting, and epic science fiction that holds up surprisingly well. And yet, somehow, it's rarely in the conversation of great 80s comedies. Now let's go into how we missed Real Genius. This movie is your classic brainy kid gets thrown into the deep end scenario. It revolves around arguably the most irritating protagonist in the world, Mitch Taylor, a 15-year-old whiz kid who gets recruited to work on a top-secret laser project at a university that's basically Disney World for smart kids. Mitch, who's all wide-eyed and serious, meets his polar opposite in Chris Knight, who's more interested in pranks and women than in winning a Nobel Prize. Both of them hate Kent, a brilliant antagonist who everyone remembers from college. You know, that guy. You also can't forget about the brilliant man living in their closet.
Olliefeld.
Together, they eventually realize that the laser they've been working on isn't just for science. It's for dubious purposes concocted by Jerry Hathaway, a man who notoriously
has no dick.
And naturally, chaos ensues as they try to stop the nefarious use of their invention. What a cast of characters. Obviously, Val Kilmer, and Val Kilmer is the star. And few movies illustrate his comedic charisma like this one. Sure, you know him as Doc Holliday, Jim Morrison, or Batman, but this and Top Secret are where he shines. I give Mitch Taylor a hard time, but Gabriel Jarrett pulls him off. He's really just the straight man to Chris's endless whims. William Atherton has a typecast.
Eat it, Harvey!
But let's be real, he plays that character well.
You are no longer of any use to me.
I'm sure about that.
I have to go on. Right, I think this whole conversation is incredibly poor taste.
That's popcorn. Get it away from me. I can't stand popcorn. I hate popcorn. Tell me, is Mitch by any chance adopted?
He saw me.
Up the voltage.
Damn it, don't touch other people's things.
Even if you pass, you don't pass.
You're at Pacific Tech to work, not to play doctor.
In fact, I don't see why you don't leave the campus right now.
Now you listen to me, you groveling bug! I have exam! I am doing what I can, so get off my back!
Give it. It's oak. It's not plywood, for God's sake.
What are you looking at? You're laborers. You're supposed to be laboring. That's what you get for not having an education.
We're different than most people, Mitch. Better.
You just want to punch him. Michelle Meyrick is so convincing as the hyperkinetic Jordan that I didn't realize she was putting that on until I saw her in Valley Girl and realized she doesn't talk like that, unless she's really putting on not talking like that in Valley Girl. Robert Prescott plays a great jerk, and the way he plays Kent really does make you sympathize with him by the end.
Now look at this mirror. Look! Look!
Considering how antagonistic he is to Mitch, it's impressive.
That's impossible.
First of all, the writing in this movie is sharp. Like razor sharp.
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what?
Knight's ability to drop genius-level quips while appearing like the most laid-back dude on the planet is what makes Kilmer's performance iconic. I mean, 1 minute he's fixing a laser. The next he's expertly hitting on a beautician.
Don't you know that eating that stuff can give you very large breasts? Oh my God! I'm too late.
That line won't work in practice, trust. They even deal with study burnout in the perfect way. as well as everyone's reaction to it. There's one line where Val Kilmer is having his
Ice is nice!
breakdown, where I swear he mistakenly starts yelling at Mitch and quickly swaps it to Laszlo.
Laszlo, buddy!
To this day, I don't know if that was a mistake or on purpose, but you can't unhear it. You're welcome. Knight's fashion sense is great. My dad loves that he wears a Monkeys t-shirt in this scene. Let's talk about this shirt. I heart toxic waste. I bought this shirt online when I was in college. I loved this shirt.
I treasured that shirt. I love that shirt.
I still have it. I thought maybe one person in all of Boston would recognize me with it. I had 2 close calls. One day, I was leaving my dorm and someone stopped me and asked to get a picture of me wearing it. I was so excited. I'm like, "Do you know Real Genius?" She's like, "No. My best friend's cat is named Toxic Waste. She'll love this." Sad face. Then I was jogging to my class right around Park Street next to the Founding Fathers burial site. It's raining. And I got stopped again. So I'm thinking, there's no way this person doesn't know the movie. Who would stop someone jogging in the rain without a good reason? Turns out it was a news crew looking to ask about some new ordinance in Boston. Double sad face. 0 for 2, GG, go next. Any Psych fans out there? The show's creator, Steve Franks, has gone on record to say that Sean Spencer's biggest influence is Chris Knight. Kent is so fun to hate.
What about that time I found you naked with that bowl of Jell-O?
You did not.
This is true.
I was hot and I was hungry.
He always reminds me of Anthony Michael Hall as Bill Gates in Pirates of Silicon Valley. What other movie can you see students knock out a kid with sleeping gas, put a speaker in his mouth, and make him believe he's talking to God?
It is God.
He's so desperate for Hathaway's love,
And then after that, you can stop by my cleaners.
Don't give it a thought. I enjoy it.
it's almost endearing. Let's discuss age for a second. Mitch is 15. Chris Knight is a senior in college, probably 22 or something. Sherry Nugel is probably 35? So on one particular night, Sherry Nugel shows up in Mitch's empty dorm room. She tells him,
I've been waiting 3 years for this.
so she's been waiting since he was 12 to sleep with him at 15. That's odd. Mitch fights her off as every 15-year-old boy would and runs to Jordan's room. Jordan is 19. I know, you're thinking, but they never explicitly say that it happens.
I wanted to, but not with her.
The dynamic of Hathaway and Knight is beautiful.
Look, I don't care if you're arrogant.
His ability to needle him with only actions is top tier.
I don't care if you're disrespectful.
Their back and forths give a levity to the movie that never gets old.
But your attitude's distracting Mitch, and that I won't have.
It also gives birth to one of the greatest irreverent comebacks to anyone.
There are a lot of decaffeinated brands on the market today that are just as tasty as the real thing.
I'm not kidding, Chris.
Ever.
Neither am I, Jerry.
Also, what person hasn't wanted to hand their teacher a note saying, "I aced this"? Legend. I partly blame this movie for making me always feel like Chris Knight when he's approaching the businessmen at Hathaway's house.
Anything I should know about boys?
After almost a decade in corporate America, this is still what I feel like joining conversations. Send help. So how did we miss this baby? Honestly, it probably got overshadowed by some of the bigger movies at the time. I mean, it was competing with Back to the Future and Weird Science. Competition was fierce in those days. But the fact that this movie is as funny and relevant decades later
What is Mr. Einstein really like?
Dead.
is a testament to how well it was made. I personally really wish more movies had protagonists that are smart and cool. I feel like they're usually mutually exclusive.
Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you?
I idolized Chris Knight growing up. I wore slippers to school, I always approached life with a playful nature, and never took myself too seriously. No regrets. And that is how we missed Real Genius. Have you seen it? What's your favorite part? Is it Chris Knight's endless supply of quippy wisdom? Because it should be. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.